Hello.
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 How y'all doing?
Well.
Doing?
If you're all doing of any kind of way, you probably found yourself sitting in front of us here at the Always Strikes Last podcast on our proverbial fire here, talking to you from a faraway place, namely the internet.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the webs, the interwebs.
Yeah, the World Wide Webs, the WWW.
Mm-hmm.
And we are in a giggly mood in this Always Strikes Late, as we do for the Always Strikes Last podcast.
Mm-hmm. There's a reason, because we look at the world and holy shit, what the shit is going on, huh? Things are getting messed up, right?
Oh yeah.
Are things not scary in the world? If you think they aren't, then boy, have I got a bridge to sell you. But when this stuff comes around, I think one of the beautiful things that we can do, I don't know about you guys, but I know I do, is focus on creativity.
And hope and ideas. Yeah.
I find the act is helpful. Painting, for me, music as well. That gives me some semblance of control over, and a positive way to, send out my emotions. I'm cutting Jack off, so I'm going to let him in now.
Matt, I got to agree with you there, but I got to say the funniest thing, and maybe this is a callous lead into today's episode, is that transport yourself back to 2012, all dear listeners, and that today there's a lot of uncertainty in the world, a lot of unfortunate things that maybe disappointed us, but we want to once again talk about a change we can believe in.
Oh, that's nice.
That also ties in with the God of hope. So today we're gonna go just do a quick little dip into Tzeentch. I have been running an All Zangor list for a little while under the old rules, which was disappointing. To be 100% honest, because
I was running a Oops half Zangor, which with mixed results.
And so, there's tons of book reviews out there, and there's all the fun that you can get into if you really want to do a breakdown of all the insanity on the army. And I'm sure we'll go through and find our own unique takes, just like we did with Slaves of Darkness and Nurgle. But I think right now, just to kind of give us something to do, is look at the things that stick out to us in the new Tzeentch book. And I know I've been writing lists to help pass the doom scrolling fingers onto something else.
That for me, it's writing lists, going back to listening to every Green Day song again. And maybe some Pokemon Fire Red, I'll be honest with you.
I'll take it.
Go back to when I was 3 or 4 when the first game came out for Pokemon. I'm like, oh, you know what? I need to stop seeing the world around me for a second and go do something stupid. But you know what? I still love this Tzeentch book. I love Warhammer, and list building is very nice. And I, as you all know, have a TTS tournament that we're running that I need a list for.
Indeed. Are you thinking to go down that road, the change of ways, Rocco?
Oh, yes, very much so. As I said on one of our other episodes, I'm like, if the book was legal, then fuck it, it's legal.
As they say, all the true warriors whose hearts will actually beat with the strength of their arm will show up and play in this tournament. So you will be there, Roger.
And
I will.
And I'm interested.
I need to make a list, boys.
I'm interested to see what you're going to come up with at the end of this episode. But let's get
Me too.
let's get into it. So we know that the faction rules have changed quite a bit since the little, fourth edition rules, whatever those war scrolls or whatever were called. I can't remember the little battle pack. Is that what they are?
Yeah.
And
indices.
Luckily, we're not relying on word flame anymore, and that is a huge boon.
Thank God.
The army is no longer,
Yep.
a moving castle with just Big Bird and horrors being the only viable, right? So I'm really
great.
Really stoked about it.
And the big bird, the big generic bird is still good. Don't worry, dear listener and or viewer. It still has the -1 to hit aura. It's still a good caster. But there's more ways to play this book that are valid and can get good results.
And now the army is actually finally unpredictable. Finally. Gone are the, I've got, 9 dice. Okay. Whatever I rolled,
dice.
When I'm going to use them to replace rolls. Now,
no more auto 12-inch charges.
Now Destiny dice are a side quest, if you will, and not exactly this whole army depends on it, which is super awesome.
And it's got the best name of all part of the plan. Because it's that meme of every time you fuck up, and it's like, no, Tzeentch meant for this to happen, guys. Of course, no, we're cool. I didn't lose his favor. I didn't lose the mandate of heaven. What do you mean?
It's the most thematic that this actually shows up, and it's like, this setback was actually contemplated all along.
He wags his finger in the air triumphantly as his robes loosely bounce around him.
The two heads of Kairos are arguing over everything, but you know what? We're here in this moment together. And that, all part of the plan, is how we generate new fate points. You start the battle with 0 fate points, and you gain a new one each time you lose a priority roll. A spell cast by a friendly Tzeentch wizard is unbound. A Tzeentch unit miscasts a spell. Your opponent gains control of an objective that you controlled at the start of the turn, and a friendly Argent Shard is destroyed. And the Argent Shards are the new terrain piece that is functionally a spell portal for Tzeentch. And start with one in when you set up your army, and then once all the units are down, it splits into another one, and you can go and keep regrowing them as they get destroyed. Your opponent needs to destroy both in a turn in order for it to be fully gone. It is a really cool, thematic-looking terrain piece as it's splitting up and mutating as shards of silver towers that have been destroyed throughout the lore. And honestly, there's other ways to get more fate points, and you can spend them on really cool stuff. You can do an ability called Destined to Serve, where for each fate point you spend, you can ignore a point of damage that would go to the damage pool of a unit.
And that's before allocation. So that means you still have a ward, if I remember correctly, right?
So before allocating damage points to friendly Disciples of Tzeentch units, you can spend any number of fate points. For each fate point you spend, remove 1 damage point in that unit's damage pool. So you still get your armor save, you get your ward save, and then you can remove them.
Yep.
The next thing you can do as a reaction is you declare spell ability for a Disciples of Tzeentch unit. Spend any number of fate points. For each fate point you spend, add 1 to the casting roll for that spell. You really need to go and pop off and get maybe a unit out of Deep Strike. You want to just drop a bunch of damage onto somebody. There's something critical you need to turn into a spawn. There you go.
You want to banish somebody to your Silver Tower if you're that guy.
Yeah, you could be that guy. The only time we'll let you and want you to be that guy And then finally for the generic ones is Destined for Battle, where you can spend any number of fate points, and for each fate point you spend, add one to the charge roll for the charge ability of that unit. And also what's cool is on different war scrolls, some units have other ways to spend fate points to just do other cool stuff that honestly opens up a lot of cool ways to play the army and make other foot heroes more viable if that's going to fit your vibe of what you're going for your list and what you're trying to do.
And then on the other side of that, for the battle traits are probably my favorite because I partially get Beast of Chaos back again.
You do.
So Eldritch Illusions is in the deployment phase, and it's once per battle, which I don't know why they have to add that to deployment phase. Maybe because some rules lawyer is going to try and do it 500 times, I guess.
Yeah.
But you pick up the 3 friendly non-monster units from the book, and you can pull them from the battlefield. So that's, after you've set them up.
Yep.
And they're essentially put in this masked by illusion state. We used to call it like in the Silver Tower or something.
Yep. In reserve, it's Deep Strike.
But they're specifically called out to only be destroyed at the 5th battle round and not at the start of the 4th. So they can go
and at the end of the 5th battle round.
Yep, sorry, at the end. I can't read. And so you can do some pretty wacky stuff with this because there are characters that open up the ability to stick them back in afterwards.
Yeah.
And, there are also like within 6 inches of an enemy deployment. Now, they use the smoke and mirrors thing, which is in a hero phase, and it's once per turn army, which you can, kind of pad out with some of the character rules from the War Scrolls.
Yep.
You can pick one of those units, and you can just set it up wholly within 6 of a friendly non-monster unit from the book that is not set up. wait, hold on. Let me put this out one more time because this one's actually hard to read. Very Tzeentchian. I'll just read the thing. You pick a non-friendly, or you pick a friendly non-monster Disciples of Tzeentch unit that was not set up using this ability in the previous turn to be a target. Oh, 40k rules lawyers are killing me.
Yeah.
Then pick a friendly unit that is masked by illusion to be the substitute. So the way that you do this is you set up the substitute wholly within 6 of the target and not in combat. And then remove the target from the battlefield and set it up in reserve in the masked by illusion. Yep. So what you can do is you can pull guys out of combat, right? And then set guys within 6, any hero phase for a counter charge, for a charge, to mess with people's plans. It is so strong and so wackadoo that it's just it's fucking gnarly.
And it doesn't have you have to be outside of 9 inches of an enemy unit in this. You have to be outside of 3. And actually, it's just outside of combat.
Yep.
So just outside of 3. Yeah.
So you can really force some really strange situations. Zangor lists go boom boom. And we'll get to that. But like battle formations too are really kind of nicely not overpowered, not as gimmicky as they used to be. We've got my favorite. It's going to be Fated Blades, which I'll use on the Zangors now, where it essentially gives you on a charge roll of 9+, for a friendly Disciples of Tzeentch unit, you add 1 to the attack's characteristic of the unit's melee weapons for the rest of the turn.
Yep. And that's just a 9+. That could be a modified thing with the Destined for Battle.
And it's not on your turn only, meaning you can countercharge.
Yeah.
And get a very easy countercharge. Or you can just drop it in with smoke and mirrors, ensure that you have your Destined for Battle pool like built
Yep.
so you can have that one turn that you know everything's going to go well. That one's my favorite. That's the one I'm probably going to use because it's damage oriented, and I do love when my goats have extra arms to attack. What are you thinking? What are you thinking?
So I do agree. Fated Blades is really good and really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say, because like the damage reduction one's cool, and there's one where you could pick a friendly unit or an enemy unit, and if they're destroyed, you get a fate point, which is a nice way to generate extra fate points. But I think because I really worry about the fact that if you lose a wizard, you can't just bring your stuff from reserve. Mutants and Mad Things as a battle formation where you can set up a unit that has been masked by illusion, in reserves, um, along the battlefield edge and more than 9 from enemy units, just to make sure if someone snipes all my wizards, that I'm not just swapping units with smoke and mirrors. I could actually put down stuff in reserve and not worry about, oh, they killed all my heroes and I'm always going to be down 2 units because I had 2 in reserve and I've got to swap out stuff. What do I do? So I like the and I'm probably going Faded Blades, but there's something in the back of my head going, "Hey man, make sure you don't just accidentally get screwed because someone got a good turn and killed all your heroes off." Um, and I like mutants and mad things.
Well, with the smoke and mirrors, you can pay attacks, right?
Yeah.
So one of the cool things that has popped around in my head is, well, I want to save this one unit. So why don't I just spend the chaos spawn tax or something, right?
Yeah.
And that can be the thing that you just put in there and then have it 6 inches away, put it in a place where somebody's trying to kill something else that's really big.
Yep.
Right. And say, yeah, are you really going to waste your time on this thing that is able to come back anyways?
Yeah.
And then, right, then you can just move around what you need to do, stuff like that.
I agree.
It's really, really good. I don't know if you necessarily need a hero in the army, but it does make the full use of all your points. So I kind of agree.
It's something like I might need the fail safe as I'm learning. It's the other thing too. This book has so much stuff to it, and there's so much meat to chew through. As I'm learning it, I want to make sure I've got a little bit of a fail safe until I get the book down, and then I go Faded Blades pretty much every time because I'm with you in the Warflock.
Yeah, and I'm just I'm going to learn by taking a beating. I guess that's my jam,
Yeah.
But directly moving into hero traits, like we all know what I'm going to do then. Pick a friendly. Well, actually, no. Go. I forgot. Yeah.
Yeah. Silver Summoner.
The easy one for me is the Grand Illusionist, because it's not limited, and each time that I'm setting up within 6, or within 3, then I can get a D3 even closer if I need to like finagle for a really good charge.
Or steal objectives or to get around shit. Like there's a lot of ways to use Grand Illusionist to make sense. Just again, setting up those charges closer with a nice big killy bird with like the mutating blade to do 2d6 attacks. There's combos on combos in this book you can do with Grand Illusionist that make sense.
And like Silver Summoner makes sense in a pink horror list to me.
Well, it's non-Warflock Arcanite units. You can bring back. You spend a CP.
It's the other guys.
Yes, it's the humans. What you can do is you can set up a replacement unit with half the number of models, 9 inches from all enemy units and wholly within 12 of a friendly Argent Shard, which is like it's the chaos. It's the classic chaos faction. Hey, we've got summoning off of our terrain piece, and this is summoning and replacements, more like the Loon Shrine for goblins.
But terrain you can move.
Yeah. And it's the mortals doing this. This is your movement phase. The thing that I mean, again, the Arcanite, the Kyric Acolytes here, they've got a rend on their blades. They don't shoot anymore. That's fine. They end up honestly having a bunch of attacks for how cheap they are.
Mm-hmm.
The Jade Obelisk want to be near the Ardent Shards anyway because they reduce rend.
Yeah, but they can't be reinforced, so it's kind of one of those like, do I really want to spend a CP to bring them, or to keep them up just to the point where I can bring them back at half, like later in the game? You know, I don't know.
I hear you. Like, if you're going Arcanite spam, you have a trait for that works.
Yeah.
The one that I actually, which is funny how this is working out, I really like the idea of the third one, Devolving Aura, where you pick a visible a visible enemy unit within 12 of this unit to be the target, and roll a dice. Add 1 to the dice roll if any damage points were allocated to the target this phase, which it's the hero phase. So your heroes that get this thing are probably going to be wizards. It's Tzeentch, and you're gonna do a bolt to Tzeentch. Let's be honest. And on the 3-up, more likely a 2-up, the target has a maximum control score of 1 until the start of your next turn. So if you want to be tricky, and it is the target unit has a maximum control score of 1, and turn something into a beast stat block for that.
Yeah, and the fact that it's any hero phase is actually pretty damn good, right?
Yeah.
Because you can countercast or if you know that you're going to be whittled down, right?
Yeah.
Let's say a zombie dragon's hitting you, you've got, or a Gargan's hitting you, and you've got 2 blobs of Zangors. You should expect to lose a bunch of Zangors, right?
Yeah. There's still 2 wounds. They're tough, but yeah, 5-up save is a problem. But yeah, you turn a Gargant that should have a control score of like 10 or 15 or whatever it is ridiculously now to 1. All of a sudden, it
don't matter.
You beat them at their own game.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No sit and shit for them.
Yeah.
And artifacts are interesting. I don't really know how I feel about it because they're all like decent. But the Fate Slicer, I think, kind of works for me because I'm going to be looking at adding to my charge rolls, right?
Yeah.
And by doing that, I'm going to be playing fairly aggressively. And because it's the unit and it's not a specific weapon, companion weapons will work. And I do expect to just be able to like send a Zangor Shaman in every once in a while, and there's a fate point, right?
I mean, again, it's gain a fate point if any models are slain by this unit this turn. If it's find a clan rat and fucking bolt of Tzeentch it. There's your free fate point. There's your +1 to charge.
Yeah.
Right. You know.
On the other side, like we all love ruining Elves' Day, though. Elves and humans, right? The other one, Cloaked in Word Flame, is subtract 1 from wound rolls, which is arguably better because it's very hard to modify that in the game. So I mean,
and you put that on one of the generic birds, right? So it's already giving itself an aura -1 to be hit. Give
or
this
Magister,
where it's -1 to be wounded. Or a Magister, yeah. It makes any foot hero all of a sudden very survivable too. It opens up so much cool stuff.
Well, I think where it's best used is probably something on a disc, right? Because they can't hide, so they're going to be easier to be shot at.
Yep.
If you can reduce a 2 and up to a 3 and up on something that's going to auto kill you, just the potential of that 1, I think, or 1 or 2 instead of just a 1. And I think it's worth it just for that. But I have a hard time between those 2. Spell Lords.
I also agree.
Spell Lords have been ridiculously changed.
Yes, they have.
In a good way. It's not an auto spell.
I agree.
Or auto take on either of them, which I kind of chuckled because I was in the minority last time we were talking about Tzeentch, and now I don't know which one I want to take. I think I need to test,
Mm.
Um, I'm almost feeling like Lore of Change at the moment, just because of the -1 to wound rolls.
Yeah, adding that to Bolt of Tzeentch again
Mhm.
is just
And
so nice.
and it's unlimited, meaning every wizard can say, "Screw you! I may only have a 5 and up save, but
Hmm.
welcome to the party."
Yeah.
No,
And that would open up the fate point generating fate slicer as well, because yeah, if everyone's -1 to wound you because all your wizards kept shooting that off,
hmm
that's really nice. And also, I really like Infernal Gateway in the Lore of Fate, where it's either roll 5 dice or a number of dice equal to your fate points you have, and for each 4 up, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. You'll on average do about as much damage as the Bolt of Tzeentch, but over time, if you're banking these fate points and you're
hmm
getting them from these different ways, from the artifacts and maybe from the sub faction and top of, like sure, they made you go first, cool, and you've got like some sacrificial spawns or beasts or whatever, screamers that grab points and they grab them back. You're like, cool. You took 4 objectives off me. Each time you did that, I got a fate point.
hmm
I've already fate sliced because I cast in my turn and then I cast in your turn. I could be up to 6 or 7 fate points um, pretty quickly. And maybe I'm down a 90-point unit of horrors because you killed a 90-point unit of screamers, forgive me, because you killed them. Cool. That's my unlimited spell in the Lore of Fate. So then, my 2 to 3 wizards that I'm bringing are all going to be hucking that at you.
Yeah, and to contrast that, my favorite spell, Shield of Fate, being in Lore of Fate, is still amazing. You
Hmm.
still get the 5 and up ward. It is wholly
Yeah.
within 12. I think it used to be 18. No, I think it was 18. And it's
At
subtract
one
1
point,
for
it was
hit
18
rolls.
for sure.
So like,
Yeah. And get a
they're
ward of
both
a 5
good.
up.
They're both real good.
Yeah,
You
it got
can,
better because at one point it was based off you had to have so many destiny dice to get the ward. Now it's just you get a 5 up ward and -1 to hit.
yep, and that kind of
Yeah.
makes me lean back towards Laura Fit. Like these two are really kind of messing with me because the other thing that I was talking about with that,
Hmm.
chaos spawn in a pocket, right?
Yep.
Means that, the lore of change has transformed to spawn. So you
Yep.
pick a unit within 18, inflict D3 damage on the target. If anything's slain, you stop the movement for the next turn and set up a chaos spawn that is masked by illusion. So your little pocket spawn
Yep.
in combat with the target and not in combat with any other units. Meaning
Yep.
you can do some really wacky stuff, right? So let's
Oh
say
God, yeah.
you are on your hero phase and you basically have already done your let's say you got devolving aura, right?
Hmm.
You plop your devolving aura down and you may have a charge to get to the other side of a unit on its backside onto something that it was trying to hold, and then you kind of force them to say, "Hey, there's this chaos spawn here worth 1. Are you going to pile in to hold this objective? Are you going to lean back? Like, what are you going to do?" And then there's a plethora of things you can do with that, which is really good. I do think that like the fold reality is really good too. Um,
Hmm. Yep.
you can essentially pick a friendly non-monster Disciples of Tzeentch unit wholly within 12 of the caster and set it in reserve.
Yep.
And then pick another one and put it out. So that means that's two switches, right? They potentially
Yep.
each turn right there. In
Yep.
addition to transform to spawn if you want. Um, I do think that is going to be a more wacky one, harder one for opponents to deal with. But kind of the more I'm
Hmm.
talking through it, I think Lore of Fate will probably be the easiest to learn. and work with for is maybe a Zangor army at the very least.
And I've got 2 add-ons to this because with the Chaos Spawn of Tzeentch, it has the new passive of waves of, well, maybe not fully new, but in this, new for us here. Waves of mutation. Each time this unit is destroyed, set up an identical replacement unit in reserve, masked by illusion. So, they kept it from the last book, but not the one before it or whatever. There's so many of these books. But, you can replace it any number of times. It dies, and you can just make sure that you've got one of these guys by the end of the game. And, if you have that spell to bring them down, because you don't have to swap them, you can just bring something down. This can very easily steal an objective when everybody else is dead and you've just got one wizard.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And if you go with the Tzeentch Endless spells, I know I'm skipping around, but follow me, camera guy. The Tome of Eyes, its ability is, you set it up within 3 of a wizard. The target can immediately use a spell ability from the Lore of Change or the Lore of Fate, and it doesn't count towards the number of spells or banish abilities the target can use. So the idea is when you set this up and then someone uses it in the later turn, it's just an extra cast.
Mm-hmm.
But it allows us to double dip in our lores, because you can just access the one you didn't pick.
Yep.
And still drop that hot Shield of Fate on somebody if you go the other lore.
Yep. And I mean,
plans on plans.
And if you want to do Word Flame Haze, then you can get even crazier, right? Because you can drop something down, have the Chaos Spawn suddenly just hanging out while you guys are in combat.
Yep.
And
the Tome of Eyes has a movement characteristic now, so it can actually keep up with your wizards as you move your stuff around.
Yeah, it's really nice. That was a pain.
Yes, it was.
Having only one moving in the spell was very much a pain. But now, now you've got this thing moving with you. You can pick from either side. It feels Tzeentchy, which the old book did not feel Tzeentchy.
Honestly, yeah. And it casts on a 5. And there's ways to give yourself pluses to cast in this book that you should be able to get that out every turn.
Yep.
And if you don't, it's because you got Unbound or you Perils, and guess what? You just got a Fate point.
Ta-da! So,
true story.
So starting that out, we now know that we have a very complex web to weave, no matter what army we want to play. If you want to be like me and play a very pared down, brutal, I want to charge you, I want to charge you, you can do it. If you want to play tricksy, things are moving, you have no idea or your opponent has no idea what's going on, you can do that. It's very cool. It's so nice to not have to telegraph everything I'm going to do with my Destiny dice anymore.
I also like with the Argent Shard that when you do cast a spell through it, your opponent measures their unbind to the shard and not to your caster too. It doesn't feel unfair.
Yeah.
I know that's oh no, the Tzeentch thing is more fair to play against, but it makes sense. It should be fair to play against. We have enough bullshit.
Yeah, we do have enough
Tzeentch
bullshit.
is a book of bullshit. Yeah, we're fine, everybody. And
because those things come back, you can destroy it. So and one will just pop back up as long as your Tzeentch player is playing well.
Yeah, and you know what? It gets you a Fate point. Yeah, more bullshit.
Seems fair.
More bullshit, go. And you just throwing it out there and see what you get. And with these traits and with the discs with the -1 to wound that you popped up too, I don't know that you necessarily need to run the generic Lord of. It's still good, don't get me wrong, but running the generic Lord of Change with all the horrors and the just shoving your bubble gum up there. They're just sending the pink horse are just sentient bubblegum to me, bouncing along and giggling and bubbling.
They truly are.
They does that.
Yeah. There's just so many cool things, and even Kairos is looking really good again, and he's got a new War Scroll spell called Faithful Reverse. I had to make sure it wasn't reserve, but Faithful Reverse goes off on an 8, really a 7 to him. Where you pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this, because again, Tzeentch's danger threat range for spells is still 18 inches, but the shard at least lets you shoot out a spell a little bit farther. But you pick an enemy's unit visible until the start of your next turn. If the target charged in the same turn, friendly Tzeentch units in combat with the target have strikes first. Now, a lot of Tzeentch stuff is wearing a 5-up save. If it's on a disc, it's probably a 4-up, giving us a strikes first ability on some big nasty motherfucker coming in to wreck your house is great. Yeah. And also, the target's weapons cannot be affected by the charge +1 damage ability.
Yep, which is huge. Huge.
Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah. So many cavalry units that are so popular that have that. There's so many, bringing them back down to 1 damage, or Varangard getting the extra charge damage, going back down to more mortal output is really nice.
So,
well, it's kind of always the Tzeentch theme though, because many books with Tzeentch have sort of been a minor debuff, a time minor debuff, kind of putting you into a place where it doesn't seem like it's adding up, but you can't hit for a noodle.
Yep.
Yeah, and this has got it in spades, right? There's -1 to hit using the endless spell. There's -1 to wound using the endless spell, using a couple of different things we've already described.
Yeah.
Reduce the charge, reduce the damage using fate points. You can stick around a lot longer than first glance, right?
Yeah.
That being said, like, they're not as good in combat as they used to be, which is really nice. And they don't have a 4-and-up save. Both of the big birds are at a 5-and-up with a 5-up shrug. So you can get through them. It's not stupid overpowered.
No.
It is very much going to be you mainline Tzeentch for a while to really get into this, or you're a top table player at Worlds.
Yeah, that'll still happen.
No middle ground.
Yeah, no middle ground.
But the generic bird still does have it summon a demon unit at half strength back too. That still stayed. It got a new War Scroll spell where you pick a friendly unit and they get to make a normal move in your hero phase if it was movement. We've got movement tricks and shenanigans.
Yeah, and that works perfectly with a lot of units, fast and slow.
Yeah.
They're moving at 12, so they're going to get a little bit slowed down compared to some of the other units on discs.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not showing up in my list. I literally have the easiest list in the world.
I love this.
I don't know. What else stands out to you guys? What's another War Scroll that you guys really liked?
I don't want to just go and say, hey, the changeling on the next page is still really, really fucking good, but god damn it, it's still really fucking good.
I'm going to argue that he's better in other people's armies.
Yeah.
The Regiment of Renown for the changeling is game-changing. So I guess we should probably talk about it because I had to say something, didn't I? And we're just going to hop around
that's what we're doing
in the
here.
Theme of the book, We're keeping in the theme of the book.
He's crazy.
And so his Regiment of Renown, he gets his own War Scroll, essentially. And in this War Scroll, I think he's about the same, maybe he's mildly different. But he's got 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, run 1 damage, D3. Good old wizard with an extra limb, 5-inch move, 5-up save, 2 controls, 6 health, and a 5-up shrug. But it's his special rules that are insane. He can be brought by just about every army in the game.
Yep.
Except for Tzeentch, which, you already have him. So screw us, Tzeentch players. Just his plan. But in the deployment phase, you can essentially put him in incognito. And
think of the modeling opportunities with this too.
yeah,
Of just you just do like have his like staff or something on like any other converted model you want to do for all of these armies.
You just set him up. You got to make one for each army that you play.
Yeah.
So it follows the same thing as the previous deployment abilities, which are destroyed at the end of the 5th battle round and not at the start of the 4th. And essentially what happens is it gets a incognito keyword. And if this unit is incognito, you pick this unit and a friendly infantry hero to be the targets. So one target must be incognito and the other must be on the battlefield. You set up the incognito target wholly within 6 inches of the other target and not in combat. Then remove the other target from the battlefield and set it up in reserve incognito. If the unit is destroyed before removing it from play, you can still set homeboy changeling wholly within 6 inches of a battlefield edge and not in combat. So you're not going to lose him like you would in days of old with like dark elf assassins and goblin assassins and such. But that means you get this war scroll popping out and then doing in your hero phase this spell, Forceful Command. You pick a visible friendly unit wholly within 12, roll a 6. Until the start of your next turn, the target cannot use move abilities, and the target's melee weapons have anti-charge +1 rad. So essentially what you're saying is, I'm going to knock you out of the movement phase. And you may get a +1 rend to your charge, but I wasn't planning on charging you anyways. You stupid knights.
Yeah, come fight me. I've given my friendly unit this +1 rend. On this point, I'm holding. Ain't no one gonna come and mess with me because now my rend 2 is rend 3.
So they get a small trade off, but now they're stuck.
Yep.
It's worth it entirely. I love it. The only scary thing is if somebody just oops all Beast Claw Raiders you, or you go into the aforementioned Gargan army. You can set them up within 6 inches, I guess, the ward, I think. But if you can't pick it, he's just there. He's just there on the field.
Yeah. And I will say, since we're doing all the renown stuff too, there are a couple armies of renown. One of them is the Oracles of Fate. That is interesting, where you get your destiny dice back, and it's pretty much just like before. You can swap them out for casting, unbinding, blah 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 blah. Where you can just play around that if you miss old Tzeentch. It's Kairos and any demons unit. If you want to do that, go ahead.
Why. Don't know why.
I don't know why, but you can if you want. Because it's got an. Let's see, this artifact here is in your movement phase. If this unit is contesting an objective, remove it from the battlefield and set it up again. Contesting an objective more than 7 inches from all enemy units. That's neat to bounce around.
It's change host, old rules. It's just kind of like, cool. Yeah. We've seen that before. We have all these new toys.
Yeah. And you get the manifestation lore, and you get one spell called Fate Weaver's Gift, where you can, pick an enemy within 12, invisible to the caster, roll 4 dice, or a number of dice equal to the unspent destiny dice for each 4-up roll. You can flip 1 mortal damage. But again, you lose the cool 2 spell lores that we get. Yeah, you've got the Tome of Eyes to try to cast one from one of the other spell lores, but it's not the same.
I feel like it's an answer for some people who will be frustrated that their entire army is almost now invalidated because they wanted to play the moving castle, right?
Yes. And again, this works for it. You can bring all the horrors, the flamers, go double bird with this, and this is pretty much old Tzeentch with the updated war scrolls. You'll be fine.
Yeah, you should be
But
good.
there's so much new cool shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but
No, I'm
look
in
at the new
agreement.
stuff.
I'm definitely in agreement. I think that this book has so much more potential than
Yeah.
stuff that let's be 100% honest. Like your meta is so attuned to already, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
like
from a
if
competitive standpoint,
yeah,
everyone's gonna know what that the Army of Renown does because that's what Tzeentch has been for the last like 6 years.
yep,
They'll
and
know.
and that's great. Like maybe you'll catch a new player or something, but in the end, it's predictable in its own
Yeah.
way when you use Destiny dice, like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And to me, I think that's the biggest detractor for me for even like acknowledging it as a list build. Um, I I do like the changeling. It's so unique. It's what a lot of things have been, but I'm gonna steer clear of that one only because this is fun. We have new toys. We should
We
use them.
do. Hit me
And
with something else you're liking, man. I know you're going Zangor here.
I'm going Zangor, but I'm gonna
I know the shaman change if you want to talk about that. Or
I'm gonna speak to the one that I really like that I don't
please.
know how I'm gonna build it into lists just yet because
Okay.
it would change, the build considerably.
Mm-hmm.
But either of the Gaunt Summoners. The Gaunt Summoners are
Ooh.
suddenly very, very good.
Yeah.
They are not a kind of, the guys are out. Now I have this 230 point model sitting on the board,
Mm-hmm.
naked, essentially, right?
Yep.
So I'm actually, when I'm building lists, I'm still on that. I can't get over how annoyingly lopsided they were in old lists.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm
Yeah.
I'm still building them with the one on foot, but that's because I'm using a lot of Zangor and Arcanites in those lists. And the
Mm-hmm.
reason that I like it is because you can keep it within range of shard. And I guess I can do a breakdown. Either of these, we'll just go with the Disc of Tzeentch one because you can generally tell what they're going to be for the on foot one from this.
Yeah.
But it's got a 14-inch move. All discs still somehow have a 14-inch move, while the eels are at 12, right?
We don't got to talk about.
No one needs to talk about
No.
that. It's okay. The chariots went down to 12 too, which is what? But change staff is not bad. It crits into mortals with and this is the shooting weapon that it has because it's got shooting.
It
Crits
does.
into mortals, 12-inch range, 3 attacks at 4s and 3s, run 1 damage D3. Not bad. Not bad at all. Warp Tongue Blade, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, -1 Ren, 2 damage. Not bad. Dependable. More dependable than a lot of other wizard stuff.
Yeah.
And then, you got your disc with 2 attacks now at 4s and 3s, 1 Ren, D3 damage. That's a little bit of kind of a shooty beat stick. Support beat stick, I guess, for Tzeentch. But the real thing for it here is the Masters of the Silver Towers. I think this rule is super cool, and you can put it into a lot of situations. And so essentially it's passive. So that means pretty much at any point, right? Enemy units cannot into charge move within half inches of a friendly Argent shard that is wholly within 12 inches of this unit and set up on the battlefield in the same turn. So you can do some really wacky stuff. You can block a long charge by placing a shard within 2 pieces of terrain that are on the battlefield already. You can cut windows down. You can hide behind that shard. You can shoot it up and make another charge block.
Who among us hasn't cast an endless spell or put out a terrain piece and completely forgot? Oh, that's a charge target.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, this is a great ability.
Yeah,
it is a nice get out of jail free card.
And because you can move them, it's actually like a nice debuff area charge. So it's interesting because there's a lot of finesse that you can apply to it, I think, situationally, which this game is all about situation when you get doubled. But the real thing, man, is once per battle, at the start of any turn, yours or your opponent's, you can pick an objective you do not control and that you controlled earlier in the battle to be the target. The effect is you just control that objective. So how does that work? How do you actually make this work? Well, one, you can use that 6-inch battalion, right? That Rocco was into, and plop on a chaos spawn on a little open area. Let it die so you can get it back. And then later in the game, when somebody has to, because they aren't a maniac and they don't play Scouting Forth and Wrathful Cycles only, has to move to the middle of the board. Cool. I control that objective now. Great. Awesome. Now I've swung back over. Especially after being the underdog for that one turn, right?
Love to see it.
There's so many different utilities from just that because it's not range based. You can use that late game if he survives to, if you're in a scouting force like me, like the Maniac me and Wrathful Cycles, right? And you have to be on the other side of the board, right? So somebody's tapped that and now they're left with the choice. Do I keep this unit here to hold it? Or do I leave and try and get them off my objectives? The other side of that being like, hey, I've got this. Nobody's going to take this from me. There's no way. Hey, there's a way now. It's super powerful. I cannot speak to how insanely powerful that is. As a former Beastman player, that is like, you don't even need a unit there to do it. It's so amazing.
No, it's just, again, it just makes your opponent have to be like, cool, I have to have my models babysit an objective instead of coming together in force to take out all of your stuff. And then they've got to be spread out, and you with your speed and all your stuff on discs and your Zangor that can run in charge and go and pick off these isolated units, and when they move to respond to you, you just drop that on them, and it's like, well, okay. Now I'm caught in a fight, and I can't even get back to the objective.
And all is going just as planned.
And then, spells good, too, man.
The spell I love because now it's not just a stupid roll to beat somebody's characteristic. Now it's a spell that you can modify. So essentially, it's the old throw him in the silver tower thing that he used to have as part of his war scroll. But now it's a spell. Goes off on a 7, right? So you can...
It is if the unmodified casting roll exceeds the health. But
what you can do is pull this out on, let's say you're me. Let's say you're a Matt, and you apparently don't like rolling anything more than 5s for spells. Let's say you have 2 or 3 fate points. You suddenly have a spell off at 8, but the unmodified casting roll
is a 5.
On a 4 wound character, easy peasy. There goes like a little shaman. If you roll a 6, hey buddy, there's any basic foot person. If you roll a 7 and you just do the normal break even, you're getting almost to ogre territory, right?
That's some Cath heroes there. It's a good time.
It's fairly simple.
And a 2-cast wizard.
So you can boom and you can do boom.
And with the amount of -1 to wound we can throw into this army, there is honestly a good shot with this Gaunt even being a 5-up, that it lives until your next hero phase to do this spell. And it is your hero phase spell.
And he is one of the guys that I specifically was thinking, oh, well, -1 to wound is totally worth it on this guy, right? Now, his counterpart on foot, his
Yeah.
spell is actually different because
Yes.
he ain't got no silver tower. Apparently, he left home and it done blew up.
That's the dude, the Seraphon, kicked his ass, and he's like, "All right,
Mhm.
I'm walking now. They blew up my car."
I'm walking home.
Mhm.
So this spell, it's pretty much the only difference if you remove the
The
disc,
disc. Yeah.
is pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches, roll a 7, and then
Mhm.
until the start of your next turn, you have the move characteristic and fly don't apply. So
Yep.
what you can do is if somebody's in the middle of the board, you know they're going to be charging. They're probably going to charge around some terrain in center of the board. We know there's a lot of that center or side terrain on a lot of missions. Hey, you want to make a zombie dragon have a bad day?
Mm-hmm. Or God
Mm-hmm.
forbid it's stuck. Like they screened it, and so they're like, "Oh yeah, it'll just jump over and do its thing," and then it's just stuck behind its screen. It's a great
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yep.
And also, I know I was a bit of a goober for a second with the arcane imprisonment cell your hero face, but yeah, the counter cast potential on you just survived, and if they doubled you and you just drop that where you can just snipe the hero there with your counter cast, or the leaden limbs as a counter cast is just these are great spells.
Well, they're your hero phase, so I don't think you can get them off as a countercast.
Honestly, I think everything says your hero face.
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
But
Dear
yeah, like
listeners,
Lore of
we'll let
Fate
you
says
know.
your hero phase, your hero. I think all spells are just that, and
Hmm,
countercast breaks it because it's a weird core rule thing. But
interesting.
but also it's 1 in the morning by us, so that's why we're double checking our sanity here. Uh,
um,
Comment below if you know how to spend a CP and cast a spell in your opponent's turn as if it was your own.
yeah, comment below if you know the basic rules, which we apparently did not.
I swear we do, and we're actually good at this game.
Yeah,
I
barely,
swear,
barely good at
but
this game for me. Um,
mhm.
one of the other standouts has to be Cursling for me for once. It doesn't do any of that bullshit frou-frou.
Mhm.
There is a small amount of bullshit frou-frou, but it's got shooting still, D6
Yeah,
shots, me. Its
he's got
attacks
his
are
talking
decent.
tumor.
Yeah. Decent attacks, 5 attacks, threes and fours, rend one damage two. It's
Mm-hmm.
not bad. Little beat stick. Three and up
Yep.
save. Three and up
Yep.
save in this army. What? Um, but if the unit's in combat, it can just cast a spell.
Yep. Once per
And
turn army, any combat phase.
yeah. And the crazy thing is you can use a non-summon spell ability as if it were your hero phase. This
Mm-hmm.
is in the combat phase.
Yep.
Again,
Yep.
um, as if that ability had unlimited keyword and is as if this unit had not cast any spells. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get 2 units that have, a 5 and up shrug, there's a pretty easy way to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Oh.
let let's say you don't want to do that. You want to use his spell. Um, you pick a visible enemy unit for armor being cursed
Mm-hmm.
within 12, not wholly within, just within,
Yep.
and roll a 6. And you can effectively subtract 1 from save rolls for combat attacks that target that unit until the start of your next turn. That is huge. That's huge. That's huge. That's huge.
In an army that has a lot of just Ren 1,
Yeah.
because the strength in this is the mortal output from spells.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Zangor being Ren 2 is real nice. Anything being that extra Ren is just so nice. And it also plays with the idea of a Gish. For all the RPG fans out there, if it literally is the spell sword hero, or on slicing and dicing and blasting people coming out of its way. It being a two caster is just also so nice.
Yeah. And
Um,
and he's like a fairly decent point cost too, if I remember correctly. So like
yeah,
it's pretty good. I think he
no, it's
pairs
like around 100
into
ish.
Yeah, a little bit more, like 130, 150, somewhere around there. Um,
I could check.
he pairs into any Zangor list well, any Arcanite list well,
Yeah.
and turns everything into blenders. But like with the
150.
changes, yeah, 150.
Yeah. Still worth it.
Yep. But
Just
with
for that, because you're functionally a 3-caster.
mm-hmm.
Because that acts as a rampage.
Yep.
So congrats on being a 3-caster at 150 points.
Yeah. And he really does pop into Zangors very well. Because now Zangors have those crit 2 hits no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3 attacks now, 4s and 3s. Were they always 3? I'm getting additions mixed up, even though I just played this. So 3
I want
attacks,
to say there
4s
were
and
2
3.
attacks for a while. But yeah, the
Yeah.
4s to hit, 3s to wound, Ren 1 damage.
So what is that? 60 attacks, 61 attacks.
Yep.
If you doubled up the unit,
Mm-hmm.
crit 2 hits, probably
Yeah.
turn you into 70 attacks.
Yep.
Whatever it whittles down to.
And they have a passive where add 1 to wound rolls for this unit's attacks while it is wholly within enemy territory, so you still get to fish with that. And go in your Fated Blades if you roll high enough on a charge. It's a +1 attack to all that too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So now you're stripping that Ren 1 down to Ren 2 with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna hit on 4s, which that's an easy CP. That's an easy CP. I'll spend all day to
You're
get
not
3s to hit
saving
and
anything
2s to
anyway.
wound, -2 Ren, 1 damage each.
Yep.
Like, do it all day.
Oh yeah. And if you got the 9 up for the extra attacks, you're probably looking more at like 80 attacks going through at 3s and 3s.
Yep.
Ren 2 damage 1. It's just do it.
I'm gonna
just do it.
Yeah, I gotta say though, there is one big disappointment in this book, and that's the new Zangor Shaman. The war scroll for this guy got really kind of dumb.
Yeah.
And I get that now the army has more melee and more ways to get out of combat. So it is a trade-off that I'm going to have to take because I'm playing my Zangor army, right?
Yeah.
But
100%.
we do lose the ability to bring back models.
Yeah.
And again, remember that a lot of Zangor players were running the extra 3 dice for rally. So they are going to be a lot less oofy than they used to be. But he switched out his spell with the weirdly most useful thing for half of the armies running around right now, which is you can pick a visible. And that's not even a spell. He just uses the spell.
It's just a rampage.
But any combat phase, you pick a monster or cavalry unit within 6, and the target's melee weapons have the companion weapon ability for the rest of the turn. So you can really knock out like some idiot overbuffed dude with this, but it's so situational. And the avian swiftness still has a 3+. Yeah. Avian swiftness gave you the ability to charge even if you ran in the same turn. Happily, it's Arcanite units now, and it's not just Warflock. But it's still, you're relying on a dice roll, right? Yeah. Which means you can never bank on it, just in case things don't go just as planned. Yep. He did get a little bit of little bit less. How can I say it? As a utility piece in the traditional sense. Now he kind of feels like he doesn't have to like hug Zangors, which was strange because you have this guy in a disc that has to stay within
with the foot ones specifically.
Yeah, within the foot ones to make them come back. So, I mean, it's disappointing that they kind of like made that happen, but I'm here for it. Whatever.
Yeah, there's still uses. And I also appreciate that the melee weapons of the rider and of the disc are the same profile. So you can just roll the 5 dice all at once and just be okay with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless you're doing something that buffs the Staff of Change or Ritual Dagger,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
discs are always going to be companion.
They're always companion. Yeah. But
so there's that.
overall, Killy Wizard.
Yeah. I will say the Skyfires stayed the same, which is very cool. They still add 1 to hit, which pops into your Zangors and Enlighten very well. It's super great as a support piece. And that's if damage points are allocated. So you need to make sure that you focus fire to get it done, right?
Yeah.
Or you reinforce a unit, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because you know, if you're gonna have at least 1 unit, you might as well reinforce it so that when you're shooting in your opponent's shooting phase, you're not, you have no negatives modifiers. You want to make
goddamn right
the most
hit
of that
or
CP.
wound.
Yeah. But I think the War Scroll that I fell in love with again is back in a big way.
Okay.
The Enlightened. Oh my
god. On foot or disc?
On disc. The Enlightened on disc are finally there. My friends, I have been running, to my own dismay, for months now, a Tzeentch all discs list for a while with a little bit of Zangors in tow. And
I've played against it actually in our last TTS league.
It's scary, but there's one thing that always plagued it, and that's you only had red one. And it's insanity. Insanity, I tell you. They fixed it. They fixed the insanity. They made them more insane. So they're essentially the same War Scroll to a degree. They've got the 14-inch move, 4-and-up save, 1 control each, and 4 health. Yeah, it's what you expect.
Yeah.
The spears, 3 attacks each, 4s and 3s, Ren 1 damage 2. We have just showed you how to make these insane in multiple ways to get them to Ren 2 using support characters, et cetera, et cetera. They are charge +1 damage, so they are 3 damage on the charge. Insanely good. You don't have to worry about being like, oh, I got doubled, or I'm in second. No, you charge, you have +1 damage.
Yeah.
Awesome. You can clear infantry, you can clear screens really easy with one of these units while the other one goes crazy. Discs, we've already said the profile multiple times. Don't need to say it again.
No.
But the thing that made these guys so good, I'm so happy, is that you get a choice. When you charge, you can pick one of the following effects to apply for the rest of the turn.
Yep.
The Spear and Vicious Beak attack, that 3-4-3-1-2 with +1 damage, has crit 2 hits if you want to clear that screen.
Yep.
Or you can add 1 to the rend. It's so good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Games Workshop heard me whining.
There's so many ways to get this to be, whether it's a CP or the Skyfires. Make it 3s to hit, 3s to wound. It could be rend 3 damage.
Yeah, they suddenly became powerhouses. They are better than gluttons, because gluttons are not going to survive a hit from a fully tooled up unit, especially if you're able to get a debuff on them too. So I don't know, I am in love with this, and to bring that theme full circle, my list has stayed the same. That's it. Stayed the same. 1 Magister, 2 units of reinforced Zangor Enlightened, 1 unit of reinforced Zangor Skyfires, 1 Zangor Shaman, another Enlightened reinforced, and a unit of Zangors, just to have some Zangors in there.
Are Foot Enlightened not a thing anymore? Wait a minute.
Nope. They gone.
Holy shit.
They gone. Now you're going to ask, why in the world did I put a Magister on there?
Yeah, Matt. Why did you?
Well,
As I go to copy your list for my thing, how'd you do it?
he ain't got no real crazy stuff when it comes down to it. He's got the disc, he's got a sword, no rend on his personal attacks, which is...
Oh, this Magister on foot?
No, Magister on disc.
Okay.
But if you have 6 or more fate points, you can add 1 to the attacks characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly Arcanite units while they're wholly within 12.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So now you can have a 4 attack, 5 attack, even melee unit on the charge with either Zangor's on foot or Zangor's enlighten.
And the Zangor on foot have
Ren 2 or 3, damage 3.
Oh no.
Yeah. And then he's actually got some decent unbinding rules. So once per turn army, you declare a dispel ability for a wizard within 30 inches of this unit. If the spell is unbound, he gets +1 casting for the rest of the game. It's so good. So good.
Huh.
So easy. Just an extra little piece of tech to help you right at the end of the game. So that's my creative endeavor. And Jack has fallen asleep in the Bahamas.
Yeah, I think Jack fell asleep. That's all right. But yeah, I'll be amazed for the both of us here, because then you could also do the thing with this where it's -1 to be wounded, so this hero actually stays around long enough so you can get the 6 fate points.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go with the bullshit idea I had, because it's each time you lose an objective that you held, you could probably get 3 or 4 fate points pretty fucking early.
Yep.
So this, you really just got to hold out to like round 3, and then all of a sudden you send this sucker in with everybody else.
Yep. And you do a lot of really wacky stuff. This book is gold for people who love damage, which is weird to say for a Tzeentch army. But I think at that point, what do you think? Do you think we've come to a good place? Have we?
I think I need to shout out. Sorry, there's 2 other things that I want to say here, because like I like the new Fate Master is really nice. Really quickly, it has a way where you can spend fate points to do. You pick a visible friendly Arcanite unit wholly within 12 to be the target for the rest of the turn. The first time an enemy unit ends a charge within 3 inches of it, you can remove the target unit from the battlefield and set it up in reserve.
Yep, which is
great
super
way
good
to save your stuff.
But then he's stuck there.
Yes.
Got to make sure that you're not within piling in distance, because if somebody is charged, they can always pile in.
Yes. Again, it's a friendly Arcanite unit, so that opens up a lot of stuff. And the Magister on foot has an ability once per turn, any combat phase, where you spend a CP.
Yep. He's wacky.
Where you pick a friendly Arcanite unit wholly within 12, and the target's melee weapons have crit mortal.
Yep. Those
until
Zangors,
the start of your next turn.
Those Zangors get nasty. There's so much in this book.
Yep.
There's so much in this book.
And again, the start of your next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get double, that thing stays on there.
Yep.
Or if you do it in your turn, then they go, and then they double you. That's 3 turns of crit mortals on your unit. That's really nutty. I don't know if it's because it's so late or what, but that's awesome.
Yeah, big old block of Zangor suddenly. Oof.
Yeah. And, this definitely makes me think a lot more about what I want to do. I personally, I'm taking the Tzeentch endless spells. I want to play Kairos because I love my model of Kairos, and I want to see a way to make him work. And I also love my Curseling. My Curseling has done a lot of work for me in the past, and I love my Skyfires.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my foot Zangors. This might be the time, because I love cavalry in general.
Mm-hmm.
And those those enlightened, being Ren 3.
Yeah, you can do some damage. I mean, you got to just as planned it, but this book has everything you need to be able to do it if you're thinking a turn ahead.
Well, also, there's ways to move in the hero phase with your normal movement. And there's ways when you bring stuff down to bring it close enough to almost guarantee a charge without fate point.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do some really dirty shit with it. That's wow.
Yeah. And the 0.7 changed too much. There's some ups and some downs. There's a whole side of the book that we didn't even get into in demon units, but I think that is probably for another episode because there is a really, really interesting screamer build in there. There's a lot to like go through for like not your normal Tzeentch list. I really love this book. It feels like Tzeentch finally.
Flavors are still good too. I'm just saying that right now.
Yeah, they're
I'm
really
very
good.
happy. Yeah, there's just so much I want on the list. But with that, I think we're in a good place.
Yeah. I think here's to hope and change.
Here's to hope and change. Hello, everybody. It is Rocco, your boy, coming at you once again with another Always Strikes Last promo. That's right. Ring that bell. Leave a like, a subscribe. On whatever platform you're listening to us on, be it YouTube, be it Podbean, whatever you got these days, so you can keep up to date. And don't forget, we have a Patreon if you want to, give us a thank you for all the stuff we put out. That gets you into our member-exclusive Discord. And if you want to be an even bigger supporter, we've got a merch store.